Welcome to the Programming Tuts YouTube channel. In this video we are going to see about addressables. Click on bell icon to receive notification. Do not forget to subscribe. You each like and subscribe will give some motivation. Please subscribe the channel. Let us go into the video. We can have quick intro about addressables. Addressables are used to handle the memory allocation. If we are not using addressable, all the asset will be loaded when the application triggers, so it will occupy large amount of memory. It can also be used to release some of memory. Also we can load each level asset level by level when it's completed. We can download or load asset when each level completed. Here we can see the comparison in each slide. First is using normal instantiation, that is without using addressables. You can see the initial memory goes up to 101. But it fluctuates and gone up to 106. This is using addressable. Before instantiation, you can see the memory stays in 60 megabytes. Next slide showing the memory after instantiation. This is without using addressables. In this slide using addressable we instantiated. You can see the memory gone up to 154. The 20 megabytes extra will be decreased after some time. It is downloading the asset before instantiation. Due to that it got the extra size. This is when we release the asset. The memory occupied will be decreased. First we will look into what are all the plugins, assets, and package used for addressables, also for debugging purpose. First is in-game debug console, which is very useful for debugging purpose in Android, which you can get it for free in Asset Store. Second is the environment, which we can get it free in Asset Store. I will use this environment as a prefab. I will use this for loading and instantiating. You can use any environment or asset. Third one is addressables. Download the addressable from the package manager. Import it. We can create two buttons to load and unload the assets. This is the environment we are going to load. Delete the environment from hierarchy. We are going to load the environment using script. Create a UI Manager script in the project folder. Sorry, one thing I forgot to tell. Drag and drop the in-game debug console prefab in hierarchy. Create a UI Manager game object in the hierarchy. Attach the UI Manager script to the UI Manager game object. Open the script in Visual Studio. Clear the pre-written code. Add two variables. One is prefab to instantiate. Another one is to store the instantiated object in variable. Create a function to instantiate a game object like normally we do. Assign the loaded object variable to the instantiated game object. Create another function to unload a game object. Like we normally destroy the game object or deactivate. Switch back to Unity. Wait for script to load. Assign the environment prefab in the UI Manager script. Add the event for load scene button and unload scene button. Attach the script to the onClick event and add the required function. Click play. Click on load button to load scene. Click on unload button to unload or destroy the instantiated environment. Now we can see how much memory will be allocated when we are instantiating normally. Go to File. Build Settings. Make build. After building, open the Task Manager, so that we can see how much memory allocated to the app when playing. Open the application. Also the Task Manager right side. You can see the memory increasing to 100 and more when the app opened, it goes bit down. Now you can see the memory nearly 95. If we press load button, you will see the memory increasing and the environment loads. If we press unload button, memory still remains same but the object will be destroyed. To optimize this memory allocation, we can use addressables to load the objects. And also we have option to download the asset from server. Either we can use local path to load the asset or remote server to load the asset. Here we can choose local path to load the asset in the game. You can see huge difference in memory allocation when app is opened initially and when loading the object. Go to Visual Studio and add the namespace for addressables. Create one variable asset reference game object for referencing the addressable object. Not only asset reference for game object is there. There are many reference asset reference you can use. For us, I am using asset reference game object. In the load object function, instantiate the game object using the asset reference.instantiate async. We use async because it will continue execution of other function if we have, but we do not have any other things to execute after we instantiating. In the instantiate async, create or subscribe a complete event by typing .complete then plus equal to and press tab. You can see one function created below. You can name it as whatever you want. In the complete event function, clear the lines. In the complete event function, check whether the object is loaded successful or not by checking the parameter obj.status. In the debug log, we will the print statement as environment loaded. If it loads in green, it is successfully loaded. If it loads in red, some error happened. Assign the loaded object variable to the obj.result to store the loaded object. Save and switch back to Unity. In Unity, go to Windows, Asset Management, Addressables. Click on Create Addressable Settings. Right-click on the addressable window. Click on Create Group. And click on Packed Asset. Also there will be default group. Either you can use the default group or you can use the group created manually by us. Right-click on Created Group and rename the group as whatever you want. Set the group created by us as default group. When you click on any group in the Inspector tab, you can see the group information, like whether we can load this group locally or using remote server. And some other stuff will be there. You can check the addressable documentation in Unity. We are loading locally in this video. In next video I will show how to load from remote server. You can create label by clicking on Tools, Windows, Labels. Labels are used to differentiate the levels. For example, if we want load level 1 asset, we can create label for level 1 in separate group and download all the asset required for level 1. So the memory size will be optimized when we do like this. Now drag and drop the environment game object from project folder into environment group in addressables window. Also we can assign labels, but it is a choice for this video. Now drag and drop the addressable game object into UI Manager script. Now we have to build the addressables. Go to the addressables window. Click on Build. Click on Clear Cache before building the addressables always and select All. And after that click on Build, New Build, and Default Build Script. Then the addressables will be starting to build. Now make a build. Open the app and also Task Manager to see memory allocation. You can see the memory increases to 62. But when we use normal instantiation we can see it goes up to 106. This is the advantage of addressables. When we click Load button, Unity will automatically download the asset from local path. And then it will instantiate. You can see that the memory increases to 120 when downloading. After that it will instantiate and you can see the memory load to 155. Now we can release the allocated memory. This is the main advantage of addressables. It is a more simple that you thought. Open Visual Studio. In the unload function, give the addressable variable that is object to load.release instance. The parameter will be the stored instantiated object variable. In our case that is loaded object variable. Switch back to Unity. Now build the addressables. Make a build. Open the application. And also Task Manager. If you click on the Load button, object will download and instantiate. Same it will happen as we already seen that. If we click on Unload button, the object will destroy. The memory will be decreased. There is one scenario we should handle. For example, if we are downloading the asset from remote server. When instantiating there is no internet connection. So the game will be stuck. For that we can download the asset early as possible. In the next video we can see how the asset can be downloaded first. And then we can instantiate anytime in the game. Please like this video if you gain some knowledge. Click on bell icon to receive notification. Do not forget to subscribe. You each like and subscribe will give some motivation. Please subscribe the channel.